A World of Music is a really great Barney episode, though I have to say, speaking as a Scot, something baffled me a little bit. This is the 25th episode of the first season, and the children in this one include Min and Luci, Derek and Shawn. We also have, of course, Barney and several other adults because they use their imagination to visit various different countries and continents and to learn about pretty much their music, but also some other cultural things as well. It's very educational and very eye opening and very well done, and definitely gives a good flavour of what different sounds of music are like. And that part of it I really enjoyed, and I'll talk more about the specifics and the songs in a moment because we're going to different countries and cultures and they're not the traditional Barney songs. It wasn't very nostalgic for me, but that's absolutely fine because the other reason I watch Barney is to see how brilliantly educational it usually is, and that's certainly the case here. Now, the reason I was baffled is that the first place we go to is Scotland, which is great. Really enjoyed that. Being a Scot, I was rather happy. We got to hear some bagpipes, which I love, and we also learn a few Scottish phrases, and one of them is hootman, which I'd never heard of. And Barney says that it's just a greeting he had with his friend, and I googled it, and apparently it's borderline derogatory. Most sources say it's not a phrase Scottish people say, which I can definitely confirm is the case, but a few sources are saying it's kind of a derogatory term that some non-Scottish people will use to make fun of the way Scottish people speak. Now, I will say, as a Scot, we speak quite strangely. If anybody wants to make fun of the way we speak, go for it. But Barney basically essentially used a potential derogatory term, and that's really awkward. So it taught me something, but it's not necessarily something I wanted to learn about, to be honest. But that was a little bit awkward. But it also means that everything else in this I had to take with a pinch of salt, because if we're getting facts, or so called facts, about Scotland that I know aren't true, that means there might be other things in this that are maybe not 100% accurate. So definitely worth taking things with a pinch of salt. The music aspect of Scotland is great, though I love the sound of bagpipes. Somehow, Luci and Min just knew how to Highland dance, but that was quite nice to see. And then the other places we go to include, let's see if I can remember them all. We have Israel, and then we go to Africa with some music specifically from Nigeria, and then China and Mexico. And I apologise if I've missed anything out. They do show on a globe the distance between the countries. I think it would have been better if they'd used a map rather than a globe, because I feel like it was very difficult to actually see the countries. That would have been a bit difficult for taking the map outside, but they certainly could have done it, and I think that would have been a better idea. But nevertheless, I love globes. I think globes are so fun, so I can't complain too much. And the songs, the music, they're really beautiful. A personal favourite is De Colores, which is actually sung by Luci and the Mexican friend who's playing the guitar. I think it was a guitar, apologies if it wasn't. And I do like the fact that we get to learn a bit about the culture, the instruments, the songs. It's really well done. Had they not used a Scottish phrase that isn't a Scottish phrase, it's got some history with a song from the 50s apparently, and that's how people think, or that's why people think it's a popular Scottish phrase, but it definitely isn't. If anybody knows any more about it, please feel free to let me know, but I can confirm that today, and I believe this has not been the case for at least a long time, we do not say hootman in Scotland, and apparently it's derogatory against the way we speak. I should point out, I don't care if people make fun of the way Scottish people speak. I'm not bothered because it is strange. Whenever I live in England at the moment, and whenever I go back home, I'll hear phrases that I don't normally hear, that I haven't heard in a while, and I do just think, yeah, that's a strange thing to say, because it's not quite as part of my everyday life now. So if anybody wants to make fun of it, I don't care. But having that in a Barney episode, it's a little bit awkward. But that aside, A World of Music is a brilliant episode, and we have some great music, some fun and games, some gorgeous songs. Ultimately, It's very educational and very enjoyable.